Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Art of Film. I'm your host, Andres Salazar. I am a artist, writer, and filmmaker, and today we're going to talk about Luis Bunuel's obscure object of desire. Luis Bunuel's last film, and I was so infuriated, so passionate. This movie riled me up like no other movie, and I'm like, okay, we're going to have to do it. I was going to do Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, which we will do that. But I'm changing my plans. We're going to talk about this film. Luis Bunuel, Spanish, born in Spain, naturalized to Mexico. He worked in France, Spain, and Mexico as a filmmaker. Considered one of Spain's top filmmakers. If you look at, Criterion Collections, you'll see Luis Bunuel's films, right? He's done a lot of work, provocative, eroticism, erotic moments in his films. And the obscure object of desire is his last film, and it's full of the sensual desire one has. And it infuriated me to no end. To no end. He takes a little departure from his surrealistic kind of like view and filmmaking to do this film. I felt it was very kind of practical. I felt it was very simple. Now, he does a lot of mise-en-scene type of filmmaking where it's done very by the book. He does a full film in just a couple of weeks. So he just like goes and shoots. What's interesting about this film is that the lead actress, Conchita, is played by two actors. One, a French actress, and one by a Spanish actress. The lead male, Miguel, he is a Spanish actor. But the film kind of goes back between France and Spain. I thought it was fascinating. I didn't even realize it until about 20 minutes. I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. It's because they're switching actresses. Even in the same scene sometimes. She'll go off frame, she'll come back, and it's a different actress. The story behind that is that evidently there was a third actress before these two that was in the role. And it was very difficult. There was a lot of conflict. She either left or got released, and they thought the picture's over. This is it. Film's done. And somehow they had over drinks this idea of, why don't we hire two actresses and split them? And it works. And while I think I perhaps prefer one over the other, it's not by much. They both do a wonderful job. And it's not too like odd or distracting. I mean, you'll notice it, but it doesn't like distract you completely. This film, if we talk about, okay, let's just talk logline, theme, plot, those kind of things. Okay, the obscure object of desire is just that. It is the story of a man's obsession over a person to the point of complete the obsession is so total, and the manipulation is so total, that it's just, to me, just completely destructive of the human soul. It's just heart-wrenching, some of these scenes, and the way they manipulate each other. But a man who loves the log line would be older man finds this young girl, falls in love, obsesses over her, and she keeps manipulating him to get what she wants, never relenting to his sexual advances, right? And they become like a faux couple, never really consummating their love, always giving him the promise of tomorrow, never delivering, and him coming completely unraveled because of it. Those other girls, those other fish in the sea, right? You can't tell that to this guy who's just hell-bent on this girl. And that's the theme. The theme is when is too much, too much, and at what point do we say, okay, I tap out of this relationship, and how love is blind, or how obsession is blind, or lust is blind, and how we don't see it. We don't see the manipulation that people are doing, or we can't live without them and those feelings. And we've all, maybe some of us, have had those feelings of we'll do anything for somebody, to have somebody. The possessiveness of that love, of that control, can overcome you, as it overcomes the main character, Miguel. Luis Bunuel does a great job. I mean, it started out very kind of like by the numbers. It's kind of almost told all in flashback. We're on a train ride. I can't remember if we're going to France or Spain. We're going to we're going to Paris. The train's going to Paris, so he must be in Spain. Going to Paris, and he's telling his cabin mates in the train the story of this girl, of why he dumped a bunch of water on her. I'm like, what was that about, guy? And he's like, well, I'm gonna tell you, that woman should be dead. You're lucky I didn't kill her, he says. You're lucky I didn't kill her. That's how he starts off. And you're like, whoa. Well, let me tell you why I should have killed her, and you'll agree why I should have killed her by the end of this story. And then he kind of recants the story. And it is, honestly, I couldn't even finish it. I watched about 40 minutes, and I tapped out. I was like, I can't watch this freaking movie. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I went to bed. Next day, I said, oh, I want to watch more of his stuff. There was like Belle de Jour. There's some other films that I liked that he did, and I was like, okay. And I said, screw it, I'll just watch it. And I finished it. But I had to break it up because I got issues. Conchita is this young girl who claims she's a virgin. She's maybe 20, maybe 19, maybe 18. Young, beautiful, statuesque, very attractive. Older man in his maybe early 60s, late 50s. They bump into each other. He is enamored with her. And she gives him these little treats, these little breadcrumbs, these little carrots. He's rich, of course, powerful, and so they start this kind of a friendship. He, of course, wants more. She never relents, and it goes on and on. But the manipulation, the way that she withholds, I guess is a word maybe we would say, or the way she entices him but then takes it away every moment, right before he's about to get what he wants, to have his lust fulfilled. He gets rejected by her. She comes up with some cockamamie story about how it's not the right time, or I don't feel like it, or whatever, and it's to the point of madness, where they break up multiple times. He kicks her out of the freaking country. And then later he goes and finds her. I mean, so he keeps going back and finding. He goes back to her even after she's abused him and she's hurt him in the most vicious way possible. I don't want to spoil it, but she hurts him in such a cold-hearted bitch move. Just a cold-hearted, in such a way you've got to think like, okay, dude, now you cut freaking ties off this bitch and you go off to the sunset and you find some other beautiful girl. What happens? He doesn't. And it's just, it was like the heat of 10,000 suns, supernova in my brain. The anger I had over this, at her and then him. By the way, this is all in the setting of this terrorism that's happening in the country. There are these little terrorist little moments that's in the news or in the media, and we see some kind of like revolt happening. There's a connection there between their relationship, the tumultuous, aggressive, almost violent at times relationship with the outside world and the strife that the political, stuff that's going on there. So there's a little bit of a little parallelism there going on. At the end of the film, I guess I'll spoil the very end. They come back to they're together, and then it's just like then it all comes together. Okay, that's it. This is this game, this sick, twisted game that they play, that somehow they want. That's what it is, and that's what Bunuel is telling us. It's like there's this desire for the game, and that yin and yang, that pull, that struggle. Some people want that. Some people need that, and they've chosen that. That's their path. I couldn't handle it, man. I couldn't handle it. The film was very well made. I love seeing the sights. I've never been to Europe, so it was a treat to see, these beautiful European cities. By the way, I should say, while this is his last film, this is Luis Banuela. This was made in 77-ish, something like that, I think. Look at the notes. I'm going to put the notes on that. But it's in the 70s. It's beautiful. Shot really well. Clean. Nothing out of the ordinary in that regard. Pretty standard look, feel of that time. I wouldn't say anything revolutionary, It's not French New Wave. It's not neorealism. It's none of those kind of things. It's just it's not even surreal like his other films. It's pretty much boom. But the dynamic of the actors, the interweaving of their stories and how they're constantly coming back, pulling it back, coming back, is quite fascinating. I can see why everyone loves it. It was just one of those topics, one of those things that was just really tough for me. Great film, though. And that's what the art of film's all about. It's talking about films that are great. So I would say, if you haven't seen any of Luis Bunuel's, this could be one to see. He's got some others that are great, but this is considered one of his best. It's his last film. So that might have some importance there. If you don't mind some manipulation and some relationship craziness, go for it. Not a date movie. Not a date movie. Not a date movie. This is a movie for you. That's it. No one else. Yeah. So there you go. That's my quick little review on the art of film. Thank you for watching. Check out my Patreon for all my other stuff. I've got ink in my hands because I was inking some comics. I do comics. What do you know? So check out those videos and all that jazz. And let me know what you think of Luis Banuel. What's his best film? Let me know. What should I see next? And we are going to do High and Low, also known Heaven and Hell, the Japanese version, of Akira Kurosawa's film with Mifune. Very excited because that film is really good. And I want to do that before we do Seven Samurai, because Seven Samurai is like my fave. So we're going to do some other ones to lead up to Seven Samurai. But Heaven and Hell is great. There you go. A preview for next time. Thanks, guys, watching, and talk to you guys later.